Understand the magic, understand the lore. Once you understand the magic, you understand the lore. Once you integrate this understanding with the gains influences in Christian Abrahamic myth, Hebrew lore, and Gnosticism, you know the story. Light magic and dark magic and alchemy are the keys that enable you to dissect the backstory of the Team Micro games. The underlying foundation of the lore that connects the shared universe is that descendants of a post-apocalyptic world, involving man's fall from grace due to their twisting of metaphysical realms of light and darkness and alchemy that use human sacrifice in a bid for immortality, and the subsequent weaponization of the esoteric force of the world resulting in man's first direct access to dark magic, which precipitated the enslavement of the dead via necromancy, the twisting of alchemy to create biohorror weapons, and the subsequent doomsday wars that resulted from these discoveries. From the original sin of sacrificial alchemy came the second apocalyptic wars, a doomsday war involving atomic weapon lethal applications of light and dark magic. A war between those who still serve the gods and follow the light magic users, and those who view the perversion of the sacred alchemy as the sacrosanct creational darkness, reserved only as the province of the divine, the necromancers, the dark magic users. Team Micro games function differently from other genres in that they are all prequels. The elements connecting the shared universe involves the legacy of human sacrifice and necromancy in a world reborn of the doomsday wars waged in antiquity, and the shared metaphysical realms of light and dark. The things that are revealed in the timeline is that the overarching story is very similar to that of Zelda, occurring over the course of, in man-time, the height of a range of tens of thousands of years. The games are all about this world's version of the antediluvian world, its fall of Atlantis, its fall from grace, from a previous technological epoch. The world of the Last Guardian, Shoutout, Colossus, and Ico is a post-apocalyptic world. Mandalas and Alchemy are deeply connected, forming a symbolic system that represents the transformation of the human soul. The concept of the alchemical mandala, as described by thinkers like Dennis Clock, presents the mandala as a dynamic map of self-transformation. It's not static, it's cyclical. The journey never truly ends. It returns you to where you began, now with the awareness of the path you've taken. This cyclical nature is reflected in the core structure of alchemy itself, the rotation of the elements, earth, water, air, and fire, before returning again to earth. This pattern mirrors both the structure of nature and the structure of inner psychological change. Alchemy is both passive and active. To begin the work is to put fire on the earth, so to speak, a concept in alchemy which represents working against one's own nature. Is the act of confronting and transforming unconscious patterns that define the self. This idea was further developed by Carl Gustav Jung, who interpreted alchemy as a psychological process rather than a physical one. Jung observed that symbols such as mandalas appear across multiple civilizations, often independently, yet share the same structural meaning. For example, the Ouroboros of Greek tradition and the yin-yang of Asian philosophy both represent polarity, the balance of opposite forces within a unified whole. This principle of opposites is central to alchemy. It appears in the alchemical stages themselves, beginning with Negrito, the blackening. This stage represents darkness, decay, and psychological despair. Jung describes it as a confrontation with the shadow, where the individual faces the deepest and most chaotic aspects of the unconscious. This descent mirrors classical soul journeys found in literature, such as the underworld descent in Dante's Divine Comedy, or the mythic journeys described by Plato and Homer. From this darkness emerges albedo, the whitening, a stage of purification, renewal, and return to innocence. In alchemical symbolism, this stage is often accompanied with paradise, creation, and the restoration of order after chaos. This duality between Nigiro and albedo reflects the fundamental alchemical principle of solve a gula, to dissolve and to recombine. The importance of polarity, light and dark, decay and growth, death and rebirth, is emphasized heavily in Jung's later work, particularly in Mysterium Conjunctionis. where he describes the union of opposites, or conjunctio oppositorum, as the central goal of alchemy. The same structure appears within mandalas. In Jungian psychology, the mandala represents the self, a totality that contains both conscious and unconscious aspects of the psyche. It often emerges spontaneously in dreams as a symbol of inner balance and integration. Jung also noted that mandalas frequently follow a quaternity structure, a pattern of 4 elements organized around a central point. It is seen clearly in the quintus pattern, 4 odd points within a center, which Jung associated with the unification of the 4 elements into a single world body. This idea is not limited to Western alchemy. In Eastern traditions, particularly in esoteric Buddhism, the mandala takes on a similar but expanded meaning. As described by Elizabeth Tin Grunty-Hewis in her study of Japanese mandalas, the mandala of the 2 worlds consists of 2 complementary instructions. The diamond world mandala represents the absolute unchanging reality, and the womb world mandala represents the physical changing world of experience. Neither is complete without the other. Together they form a unified system, reinforcing the same principle found in alchemy, that opposites must coexist and integrate in order to form wholeness. At the center of these mandalas lies a powerful symbol, often represented as a lotus, a vessel, or a sealed womb. Jung compared this center to the source of all psychic energy, a point from which all forms emerge and to which they return. This center is the self. The journey toward it is not linear but spiral. As Jung described, the psyche moves in a circular motion around this center, gradually approaching it but never fully grasping it. Mandalas therefore function as tools for meditation and transformation. They allow the individual to focus inward, to observe the unconscious, to integrate the opposing forces within themselves. Ultimately, both alchemy and mandalas describe the same process, a continuous cycle of dissolution and renewal, guided by the detention and union of opposites. The philosopher's first stone, in this sense, is not a physical object. It's the realization of the self, the complete integration of all aspects of one's being.